Reality television is famous for how it showcases lives that are well outside the mainstream, from the lives of the morbidly obese, to the closeted gay Mormons, to the men who are in love with their car.
He met Chase in a resale lot about 5 years ago.
All brought to you by TLC, you know, the Learning Channel, because that's what it stands for, and we are today talking about another one of their shows, Polyfamily, a show about a monogamous, polyamorous quad who are collectively raising 5 children.
It almost looks like they're more in love than him and I can't help but be jealous about that.
And maybe I shouldn't be so critical about the fact that it used to be called the Learning Channel, because we are certainly learning that most of the people in this quad can't stand each other's guts.
I think our relationship is we live together, but if we weren't in this situation, we probably wouldn't be friends.
And just to be clear, I have nothing against non-monogamy. Now, does that mean I understand it? No. I'm an only child. I'm bad at sharing my toys, let alone my lovers. But the point remains. I can enjoy plenty of things without understanding them. Like magnets. I don't know how they work.
Magnets, how do they work?
This does not stop me, however, from buying 2 to 4 magnets on every single vacation I take, a habit that my ex-boyfriend labeled as absurd. What I do take issue with as it relates to Polyfamily is that the dynamic of their relationship as it's presented by the show does not strike me as particularly healthy, and this fact seems to be denied by the members of said Polyfamily themselves. In layman's terms, they all have a lot of issues with their relationship structure and they gaslight themselves into pretending that they don't. Makes for an interesting show though.
Honestly, if you're in a fight with somebody, like, I don't want to be around you necessarily.
But sure, as with all reality television, we have to obviously add this caveat. Without conflict, every single television show ever made would cease to function. So how much of what's being presented to us in Polyfamily is actually real? And I'll just say it, this is my opinion as somebody who has literally studied reality television in an academic setting. This is one of the more real shows I can recall watching in recent memory. Certainly more genuine than most of TLC's oeuvre. Oeuvre, their collective works. Am I saying that right? Comment down below. I'm probably fucking it up. Again, désolé to my French teacher from the 11th grade. I think you'll come to see this authenticity as we break down the show, but it raises a couple questions. Namely, does this show play into the predominant social stereotypes surrounding polyamory? To give them some credit, there's no one named Sock accusing you of weaponizing your neurotypical privilege because you asked them to do the dishes. That much is true, but I will give you 3 non-New York City guesses as to where this polycule is from. Did you guess Portland? You guessed Portland? Great guess, you're entirely correct. But I'll be honest, this show really doesn't leave you with the impression that polyamory is a particularly practical choice as it comes to structuring your own relationships, and frankly, it doesn't even really come across as showing that polyamory is working well for this particular family. My name is Patrick, but my friends call me Pat, and I am literally moving apartments as I'm filming this, and you know what? You guys are more of a priority, so enjoy the video. Heart, back by popular demand. Excuse me, who are you?
Don't mind me, just keep going.
Oh god, I find this unfathomably creepy.
Well, your internet isn't secure, dude. Anyone can just walk right in here and see what you're doing.
Wait, I know. Today's sponsor, Private Internet Access, can help. PIA is a VPN, but it's also so much more.
Oh, I don't like the sound of this.
Without a VPN, cybercriminals can potentially steal your data and your information. Both your privacy and your security are at risk. Using Private Internet Access keeps your identity safe and your data protected with state-of-the-art customizable encryption. Be gone, villain! You can also use PIA to change your location and access movies from other countries. US Netflix? No Shawshank Redemption. Japan Netflix? You'll be watching Andy Dufresne's perilous journey in no time at all. But remember 15 seconds ago when I said that PIA also offers so much more? Included in their basic service for free is the email breach scanner to let you know if your email has been affected by any recent security breaches. While it's probably too late for my middle school email that I signed up for 70 million different websites sites, it's not too late for you. Using the internet is great, you're doing it right now, but there are so many criminals out there who will gladly profit at the expense of your privacy. So if you want to start browsing the internet a lot more safely, sign up for private internet access today. Link down below in the description. Thanks again to PIA for sponsoring the video, and now back to your regularly scheduled programming. First and foremost, let's meet the quad in question. Tyler, Alicia, Sean, and Taya. Tyler and Alicia are married, but Alicia is Sean's girlfriend. And Sean and Taya are married, but Taya is Tyler's girlfriend. Are you following me? The husbands are dating each other's wives, to put it simply. Taya and Alicia don't really do anything physical because it seems like the one time they did, Sean didn't really like it.
Have you two women ever had a intimate relationship?
No. Lies. That's a lie.
Or conversely, this is the other theory, he may have liked it far too much.
And we are close, so there were scenarios to where
She doesn't have any other options.
alcohol helps.
She appreciates me.
I appreciate her.
Don't you just hate it though, when alcohol influences you and all of a sudden you're making out with your husband's girlfriend? Personally, this is why I'm sober. Disclaimer, this man is not sober. He literally used to bartend and still brags to his friend by making obscure cocktails from New Orleans, such as the Ramos Gin Fizz. Ever heard of it? Neither has anyone else. Sean and Tyler don't do anything physical either. In fact, they dislike each other in a way that is so unhealthy and also so palpable.
I think our relationship is we live together. We have mutual partners, but if we were in this situation, we probably wouldn't be friends.
This is a crazy thing to say about somebody who is literally and voluntarily raising your children with you. Normally you would reserve this level of animus for your ex-wife's new boyfriend, who for some reason wants to be weirdly involved in the child discipline process and also has signed up your child for travel baseball. Fuck you, Derek. Now we're both sitting here in a hotel room in Scottsdale, Arizona, so I can watch my kid at 7 a.m. go 0 for 3 at the plate while I try to nurse off my divorced dad hangover that I got from drinking alone in the minibar. But this is a Brady Bunch scenario if we were doubling the Brady parents and the husbands were the only ones getting any additional action, meaning this is entirely voluntary. I should also note they stress that this is a closed polyamorous quad, meaning that there are no vacancies in case any of you sickos in the comments section are getting any crazy ideas. Although later in the season, so goes the preview, a hot new bombshell enters the polycule.
There definitely is flirtation going on. Like, that's for sure.
Should I hide my crush?
No. It's complicated to bring someone else in. We're not closed anymore at that point. We're just not.
What gets me about this particular monogamous or closed quad family structure is there are so many rules and regulations surrounding their relationship dynamic. Because I'm sure you might have a few questions about how this family lives their lives. The first one, perhaps being, what are their sleeping arrangements? And the answer, basically, the husbands take turns.
The girls have their own bedrooms, so Tyler and I switch rooms every night. We take our toothbrushes, our pillows, and whatever else we need for the next day, and we do that no matter where we are.
We are monogamous with our pillows.
Nothing is more sexy to me than to take what is one of the most beautiful elements of being a human being, your sexual and emotional relationship with a partner, and essentially turning it into the adult equivalent of a chore chart.
And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife.
I guess it is nice that the women are getting some degree of empowerment, considering they're basically participating in a nightly version of Wife Swap where sex plays a prominent role.
We are a family. We raise children together. We have bills together. We have a home together. We're not just doing the sexy time, so to speak.
But yeah, obviously it's not all about sex. This is a genuine blended family, and the responsibilities associated with raising children are diffused and shared. Because as I've mentioned, they are fully raising 5 children. Tyler and Alicia brought in 2 of their own biological children, and then Alicia and Taya both had 1 more child, and now Taya is pregnant with their 5th child. Which is unfortunate. Now that we're up to 5 children, we are straying from the coveted 1-to-1 adult to student ratio that is coveted by so many elite educational institutions all across the world. I mean, would Alexander the Great have still conquered the world if his tutor Aristotle wasn't just tutoring him but was in a closed polyamorous quad and had other children to deal with? I don't know the answer to that question. Alls I know is he might not have even gotten to Persia, let alone India. The other thing I know, he still would have been gay. One of the key points of this very methodically constructed relationship structure, and one of the key points that causes a lot of tension, is that all of the children are being collectively parented. And notably, Tyler and Alicia's kids still seem a little bit confused by the whole dynamic.
We have 4 parents, Taya, Sean, Dad, and Mom.
I should be able to talk to our kid.
When we all decided to parent together and we get into an argument and they use the my kids or these are our kids, like, it does hurt.
Raina, honey, I know it might feel natural to call the parents who birthed you Mom and Dad, but have you considered how Sean might feel about this whole arrangement?
It does hurt.
It really should be Mom, Dad, Mom 2, Dad 2. Or at that point, you might have to invite some alternative names to call your second father. Like, let me just spitball a few for you here. Like, how about Dad cubed? Square root of Dad? Or, and this one might be a little bit too advanced, my second dad who met my second mom when he was 38 and she was 20 and he was also her supervisor at work. And they also met at work because he was apparently sassy. That might be a little bit too much of a mouthful, I'm afraid.
We met at work and he was my supervisor one day and was kind of sassy with our group, and I just knew that I liked him right off the bat.
Look, again, I'm not here to decry the humble office romance. I mean, Jim and Pam were the couple of the 2010s. That being said, I think the dynamics might have been a little different if instead of Jim and Pam, it was Michael and Pam, and Michael looked like a slightly jollier version of John Fetterman, was nearly 20 years older than her, and Pam was also college-aged. That version of The Office probably doesn't make it past season 1. Well, come to think of it, it's surprising that the version of The Office we got made it past season 1.
Okay, I like your food.
Outback Steakhouse. I'm Australian, mate.
But I want to circle back to the point of the collectivization of child rearing. Shush you. Gosh, you say the word collectivization, he just pops up out of nowhere. We're not talking about you right now. We're talking about a We're talking about a monogamous, polyamorous quad, okay? But this concept leads to the greatest point of conflict in the entire episode, and I suspect something that we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the season. Sean is, and perhaps you can guess this by judging a book by its cover, a rather abrupt and direct person. This causes him to butt heads with Tyler, specifically as it relates to Sean parenting Tyler's biological kids.
I need a chance to get it right.
Yeah, and like I said, I felt like I gave you that chance, and that's why I said something, but I mean, I guess it's not my job to micromanage you as well, so.
Judging a book by its cover, it's often wrong, but when it hits, it hits. And feelings can get hurt by something as simple as linguistics, and no, I'm not talking about when I got a C- in my linguistics class because I simply couldn't learn the NATO phonetic alphabet.
When we first started out, Dylan and Raina were, I think, 4 and 5, and so I had 5 years of saying my kids. But I didn't realize that could be such a trigger.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, most people do not have these problems. Or, if they do, it's with a blended family post-divorce, rather than this dynamic which can best be described as the twist setting of a soft-serve ice cream cone. Kind of a good idea in theory, but once it starts melting, kind of a mess in practice. And you may be asking, just how the heck did these crazy kids come to this sort of polyamorous quad arrangement? Well, they met on an app.
And got on an app, matched with Sean and Taya. Then we were texting a lot and starting to catch feelings pretty quickly.
Okay, third disclaimer for this video. I want you all to know that I am one of the biggest advocates for dating apps that you'll ever meet. Hinge, if you're watching this, please email me because I will sell your product with the fervor of a crusader from like one of the first crusades before everybody got kind of bored with the entire practice and started attacking Constantinople because they wanted something to do.
Come on, fellas, we have to invade Constantinople.
But I just find it interesting. I was gonna say fun, but I don't even know. Interesting that you can be swiping as a married couple, match with another married couple, and then move in together.
Probably about 2 or 3 months in, I kind of decided that I was going to tell everyone that we'd move in together within the next 6 months, and everyone thought I was stupid and crazy. But hey, 4 years later, look where we are.
You know, all of a sudden I'm feeling a lot less bad about impulsively moving to New York City. Because sure, this was a bad idea, but at least I didn't move in impulsively with my Portland area polycule. The bar is in hell, but I'm slightly above it. In purgatory, which has a rent that is slightly beyond my capacity to pay it. The quartet, though, for their part, sees a lot of benefits in their professed polyamory.
There's things we gravitate towards. Tyler's like the fix-it guy. I tend to get the kids like enrolled in their sports and activities.
So, y'all, what you're describing are a set of things that generally one parent is responsible for doing all of. Like, you just said the thing that you're good at is signing the kids up for sports. That's like one thing every 3 months. Well, I signed up little Timmy for soccer practice. That's enough parenting until July. By the way, this whole thing is so batshit insane. We haven't really talked about the plot of the episode yet. Fully one of them is pregnant, and they're going to give birth. We haven't even approached that because we've still got more stuff to cover. Like, for instance, this bizarre rule that they have.
If it's Tyler's and my night together, then I'm gonna sit next to Tyler in the car, at dinner, on the couch.
Does this strike anyone else as like the HRification of polyamory? We're seriously dictating who's sitting next to each other at the dinner table and the couch and the car based on our adult chore chart where we're all taking turns so that nobody gets mad. This is like the class pet. Like, you have to sign up for the class pet and everyone, you can only sign up for 2 days. That's all you get. And like, I'm speechless, man. I'm not, but wow. And it's not just about who's sitting next to who on the couch. Sex is also a pretty contentious topic.
There was an incident where Tay and Tyler were off doing something by themselves and it wasn't their night together, and they had sex.
There was just a lot of feelings coming up around sex.
Guys, I'm shocked. I literally can't believe it. Like, you're telling me there's jealousy in a polyamorous relationship? No freaking way, dude. That's insane. We don't get into a lot of the misery in episode 1, but there are hints. There are signs beneath the surface that this dynamic is slowly fomenting unhappiness in at least one of its participants, if not more. Like, I think Sean is clearly the happiest in this dynamic because he just gets to smooch multiple women, and he seems like a man who's really motivated by smooching. By smooches. But again, this could be manufactured for television. But let's just say that's true. Why do the show? Personally, and I know this is a hot take, I will make an ass out of myself on this platform and on national television if given the opportunity, but I would draw the line at my family getting commodified to the point where everybody's pointing and laughing at us because we all look miserable. Just like how Outdoor Boys had to leave YouTube because he felt like it was jeopardizing his family. I think that's important. Would I ever do it? No. And besides, I am really not thinking about kids when I am on the talking stage with men on Hinge. I don't know if it's viewable with YouTube's compression, but there is pain in my eyes. Wait, didn't I just say I wanted to be a Hinge influencer? A Hingefluencer, if you will? MatchCorp, if you're watching, just pretend the last 30 seconds didn't happen. Okay, perfect. There's also one more truly batshit revelation that I haven't even told you guys. They do not know the paternity of their 3 most recent children.
Joffrey Baratheon. Golden head.
Barrett and Carver and Quentin, who's still in the womb, no idea who the real dad is.
Who's the father?
Me?
No, both of us. All right. Since the guys switch rooms every night, we don't know who the fathers of the younger boys are.
What the fuck? I could say that a lot of these disputes go back to human nature, but that could be seen as a rather reductive criticism that harkens back to past criticisms of homosexual lifestyles. But while in nature, you can observe gay penguins, to my knowledge, there are not penguins who are in a closed quad polycule raising baby penguins of questionable penguin paternity. And if I'm wrong, and there actually are, that would make for a way more interesting book than a book about friggin' gay penguins. I mean, come on. Step aside, Roy and Silo. Your family is about to get a lot bigger and a lot more complicated because guess what? Match Group has unveiled a new dating app just for polyamorous gay penguins. I can't believe I just said that out loud. And maybe this comes as a bit of a shock, but it seems like each person in the quad has developed conflict resolution strategies to deal with every every other member of the quad.
Quad. Quad.
We're not just doing the sexy time, so to speak.
It's moments like this, as the two wives literally get their nails done and gossip about their husbands, who they're also dating, that really, in my opinion, represent somewhat of a quiet dissatisfaction with their state in life, or at the very least, a quiet tension.
She's like a sister to me in the sense that I love her and I will always go to bat for her, but that doesn't mean we don't have our issues. Because she is as sensitive as she is, I really have to slow down and think before I speak in order to keep the peace in our house.
Look, no relationship is going to be perfect, whether you're dating one person or two people or one person and you happen to live with their wife. I get it. The thing that I keep coming back to, though, is why? Why bother with any of this?
I was definitely worried that my husband could have more feelings for his girlfriend than he does for me. I think that comes from a place of insecurity in myself and my relationship.
Hey, I have some great advice to avoid this problem. Just don't join a quad. Just don't do it. And then you won't run into this issue. This entire show is like if they made a show called Quicksand Family, and it's about a group of 4 people who voluntarily decided to walk into quicksand and are telling us about how beautiful it is as they're slowly sinking into the abyss. Because to even get to this point requires such a level of acceptance, if you wanted to frame things positively, or self-gaslighting, if you wanted to frame things a bit more negatively. Sure, my brain is telling me that seeing my husband fall in love with another woman that I live with in real time is bad. It's all okay though, because I'm sleeping with her husband every other night. And he snores. This is a terrible trade deal. What the fuck am I doing? But let's get back to the new life that is going to be introduced into this family in 3 days' time, which we know thanks to this handy-dandy Chiron, and I don't know, something about it just really makes me laugh. 3 days till induction. It's like one of those monster truck commercials. Sunday, 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 your ass is giving birth. Taya is pregnant with Quentin, and while they know his gender and his name, they do not know who the dad is. Wait, we've got a group of people who don't know who the father is. I think I know just who we're bringing in.
You are not.
And I joke, but going from the previews, this is going to be something we'll learn in later episodes.
Well, I guess we know who the dad is.
Oh, guys, please don't make me. You guys made me watch all of Mr. Bertram, all of Beast Games. Oh, you're gonna make me do this too, aren't you? Tyler, for his part, feels very confident that he's the father.
I mean, I'll be straight with you. Tay and I have a lot of sex. So if you want to talk statistics, there's a good chance that he could be mine.
Of course he'd say this. He is literally the person responsible for the no sex with the other husband when it's not your day rule. It's like how every rule needed to have been broken once before it got written down, and collectively everyone was like, we can't do that again. No peeing in the pool, no littering, and no trying to double dip with your multiple wives. But as it relates to Tyler and Taya, he has the advantage of not being 18 years older than her, which I imagine can't hurt. And I want to actually give them some credit for subverting expectations, because usually it's an older man cheating on his wife with a younger woman. This time, it's a younger woman not technically cheating with a kind of younger man. So credit where credit's due. The one person who seems to be getting the worst deal out of any of this is Alicia. Her husband is falling in love with another woman, and in exchange, she gets to bicker with her new boyfriend in the grocery store, and also most of her family doesn't speak to her anymore.
We lost friends. There's a lot of people that just don't get it. I don't have a relationship with my dad and stepmom right now.
Let's turn down the mockery for 1 minute. That's not right. Let me record a message directly for Alicia's parents right here. Hey, you don't have to approve or understand or even know what's going on with your daughter, but you still have to include her on the family Christmas card. It's gonna have to be a bigger card, but you still have to include her. It's gonna be a lot bigger, actually, but you still have to include her. There's nothing immoral about what she's doing. Morality plays no part in this. The worst thing that should happen to them as a family is that they should be the butt of a joke in a YouTube video. Hey, wait, that's what we're doing right now. That said, their family dynamic does lead to a variety of interesting decisions that need to be made. Specifically because when the baby is delivered, you can only have 3 people inside the room. One of those spots is obviously accounted for, so to speak, so that leaves 3 people competing for 2 spots.
39 days, 20 people, 1 survivor.
Fortunately, they have a solution. They've worked it out such that whoever is with Taya that night gets to be there in the delivery room with her. This is the byproduct of them using their doctrine of fairness to determine who's going to be in the delivery room. By the way, we don't know who the dad is. And to make matters worse for them, but more interesting for me, and by extension, you, both of the dads, again, seemingly have beef with each other, as exemplified with a little argument they have relating to disciplining one of their children. Well, technically Tyler brought them into this world, but now they're part of the Poly family.
Recess, I played tag and I played this game called Horses.
Raina, remember you're grounded today, so you need to make sure that you're eating and get back downstairs, okay?
Sean keeps chastising Tyler because Raina is grounded and has trouble staying on task. Whatever the fuck that means.
You and her don't necessarily have a good track record of staying on task when you both start talking to each other, so that's why I kind of felt like I had to say something.
On task with what? With what? Doing your homework, being grounded, filming a secret episode of Taskmaster. And the reason Tyler gets upset is because he feels Sean is infringing on a conversation he wanted to have with his daughter after he had a very long day at work. But after Sean makes this comment, Tyler just kind of storms off in a huff rather than finishing the conversation, which feels very self-defeating if you ask me. And I guess that's better than Tyler and Sean having a verbal altercation in front of their children, sure, but like, it's clear to me, unless they are both playing a character, these men really don't like each other. And I do add that caveat because it is possible Sean is about to win the Emmy for big dogging my girlfriend's husband on national television. It is fully possible that that might be the case.
I could totally go back to being grounded, you know, like.
No, but you didn't. That's why I said.
The husbands tuck their tails and return to their original wives, and everyone collectively agrees that the best way to deal with this problem is to pretend it didn't happen. That's what they come up with. And then Alicia inspects Tyler's ear canal with an earwax camera. And okay, I've had about enough of this. The episode's basically over. What did we just see? Well, to be honest with you, this show is not super different from a lot of other media that exists to outline non-typical lifestyles and present them in such a way that we're all meant to point and laugh at them. Is that fair? No. Is that the inevitable conclusion most people will take away from this program? Probably. And judging by the previews, and if you want me to watch more of this, it is almost certainly going to get worse and things are going to look even dicier.
I'm the one that doesn't have any rights to Quentin, really.
Is your problem.
Now look, specifically as it relates to this subgenre of reality television, a lot of this stuff ends up being constructed. And sometimes you'll see people on these shows who are aware that it is a performance and they will play their parts accordingly. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure I'm seeing a lot of that in this show, in my opinion, because there are just so many glimpses in these moments, even if the moments themselves are constructed, but these moments suggest there are significant issues between these 4 people. And fuck, at times, we don't even just get glimpses, we get full-blown, teary-eyed confessionals. And when you see a person sobbing to the camera about the state of their relationship, the only honest and the only human thing to do is to take it at face value. And if we take this show at face value, it's about a group of 4 people earnestly, honestly trying their best to make something work that is more untenable than it has any right to be. But at least they can make cute videos about it and have witty banter.
Taya would be sitting next to Sean, but that doesn't stop me from giving Sean any sort of affection. I can still give him a kiss and a hug and, you know.
You can.
Huh?
Yeah, you can.
If you want me to keep watching, keep critiquing, and keep chronicling this couple's journey, or this is couple even the right term? No, because there's fully 4 of them. This quartet's journey into insanity, like and comment. But comment down below what you think. Am I being too harsh? Is polyamory, has it gotten a bad rap? Is this show giving something that can be good a bad rap? That is my gut feeling right now. But as always, my name is Patrick, but my friends call me Pat, and I will see you for the next one.